tonight, Ish. Another fantastic one as well. We've got ml726 Matt from Iron Division of SEL up against YerAnd in Group G. This is a tough one. YerAnd is a scary guy to play against, but I mean, Matt's pretty good at SpyParty. For someone who plays in the Iron Division, I would never count him out of a fight.
Absolutely. Matt focused on the hardtail camping style, emulates players like Crazy Kaylee, and it's a very reliable strategy, and he certainly puts up good results. Still some weaknesses in his sniper play, not perfect, but he's a very strong player that I would not exactly want to play in my final match if I'm YerAnd. YerAnd, just being a consistent, scary pathing sniper, just knows how to play every opponent.
Oh,
And
he scares me every time I play against him, even in just casuals. His ability to pull low lights from nowhere, for pathing, for behavior, for lots of different things. He's got so many tricks up his sleeve that you really have to play the perfect spy game if you wanna beat YerAnd.
absolutely, I've had my fair share of matches against YerAnd, and we've definitely gone back and forth. He's a really fun player to play against, and he's definitely not easy to play against either. I think we've tied like 2 sets in casuals. I know we go back and forth too, so great player. I would definitely put YerAnd ahead here, especially since he did just win Silver Division for SCL. Congratulations.
Yeah,
That was really
promoted
well
to
done.
gold. Fantastic stuff.
Definitely a scary player, but don't count Matt out. I definitely think he can perform here.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's recap Group G for those who are interested. YerAnd is currently 2 wins to his name, whereas ML Matt here actually lost in week 1 to Pofke, and quite a devastating loss at that. I believe it was a 7-1 victory to Pofke, which is pretty huge. Could really affect Matt's chance. YerAnd won his set pretty comfortably, 6-2 versus Quicklime in week 1. Then in week 2, YerAnd played Pofke, the Challenger Nightmare, and was able to take that series 5-3 against Pofke in the end. Matt played Quicklime and also secured a 6-2 victory over Quicklime there. And then earlier on in the week, Pofke played Quicklime, securing another 6-2 victory over Quicklime. Unfortunately, Quicklime 3 losses, all 6-2 to everyone in that group. And so now we're left in an interesting position here, Yeesh, where 3 people potentially could make it out of groups, and it all hinges off this game.
Absolutely. So the situation currently is that if YerAnd wins or ties, he goes to the top. Pofke will go through second. But if YerAnd loses, he has to lose by a certain amount in order for Matt to have a chance of making it through. So if YerAnd does lose 5-3, he'll go in second, and Pofke will go through the top. But if Matt can crush here and win by 7-1 or 6-2, he's got a really good chance to go through second, and Pofke going through the top. If YerAnd at 2 wins is not safe here, which is just crazy to think about.
It's actually insane that you can have 2 wins in your group and still potentially not come through, and dominant wins at that for YerAnd. So yeah, Matt needs to crush here. A 6 or 2 potentially will be enough for Matt to come out of group stages. But any other result will put YerAnd and Pofke going through in this group. So let's play it through and see if Matt is able to secure the 6-2 or higher win necessary to come out of this God group, as we put it. Group G here is going to be YerAnd spying first on Rocker. We've seen a lot of Rocker tonight, actually. Clearly a favorite of the spies that we've witnessed. Let's see if it's all good for YerAnd here. On to Ballroom for our final series of tonight. YerAnd going to kick things off as Spy in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Oh, sorry, let's restart that. I had it on slow-mo. All right. 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Back at full speed now. I would actually, in my opinion, this first match, I would even give Ballroom. I would give Matt odds here. Matt has
Oh, me
played
too.
with Ballroom extensively,
Yep.
and he's really, really good at this map. He's very good at catching bug, which is definitely the best mission to go for on this map. So being forced to not bug, or at least you have to get away with an amazing bug, makes it really difficult to play Matt as
I
Spy.
mean, just watching Matt's sniper cam right now, with the ambassador in the far left of the room, he doesn't have to worry about him. So all of his attention right now is on Toby in the guest list. And I've talked to Matt a little bit about his Borum play and what he prioritizes. And bug, really difficult to get past him, but so is the guest list. Perlining, very difficult. Even a green test, he will whittle down the party greatly. Makes things very difficult. YerAnd here looks to side statue inspect. I thought for a second he might go for a cheeky bug as the ambassador walked past, but decided against it. So instead, just 2 inspects with 2 animation cycles, and YerAnd will pick up the highlight for his troubles.
Getting the soft tail mission completion done early might set himself up later for a soft tail win. I know YerAnd likes to go for that, but it looks like he's just keeping his options open. Just needs one more close flirt now to be done. The banana bread's actually looking very good here. I understand why he goes for the fake here, just because it looks so clean. Unfortunately, the SDA was with us.
Yeah, if you
That
look at
hurts a little bit.
the sizes of each conversation, statistically speaking, the suspected double agent should be in that giant conversation just behind us. Really unfortunate for YerAnd that we ended up in the conversation with the suspected double agent, because that will only solidify in Matt's head that YerAnd could be the spy.
Yeah, I think the fake BB though was good. Could have thrown Matt off of his trail if it was fake. Maybe bumps him down there. Now it looks like we're gonna pick up this last flirt with 1 minute left to go, but quite a bit of progress. Still a lot of options on the table. We could BB, we could swap. Could probably even still fingerprint if we really want to. We'd have to rush it down.
Yeah, here comes our second contact. It was a white test, but we do split immediately out of the conversation here. YerAnd steps in for his second set of inspects, and I think Matt was over the split there. Was pretty much on camera as YerAnd steps out of conversation. Did look a little bit odd if you were watching that down, and I'm assuming that's where the shot came from.
Yeah, so AI do not talk into a leave unless they are interrupted, and it does look like there was no other talkers in the conversation. So either Matt noticed that or just noticed the talking to leave and thought that was suspicious enough for the shot with 3 missions done.
Yeah, really nice stuff coming through from Matt. Takes the first sniper win of this series. Fortunately, no SpyParty here on Borum just yet. Maybe with Matt stepping into the spy role as Irish, he could show us why Borum is one of his most successful maps here. Counting things down, 3, 2, 1, playing it. And yeah, Matt confirms it was the nasty BB into statues like we were suspecting the shot did come through for.
We are playing a character that has an amazing bug, so I do like this a lot. Irish, probably, if I had to pick a second character that's my favorite, Irish would be the second one. Just such a great overall character, and her bug is amazing. I think there's a good chance Matt will try to bug this game. Even now, the ambassador's in a decent position to bug.
So Matt, if I was to describe him as a spy, is that he will generally slow play early and then rush very hard towards the end, to the point where he will crash bug directly in front of the laser, just to avoid timing out as spy. Much rather get shot whilst attempting to dance to avoid a shot than time out as spy. So prepare to watch for a potential slow play and to hard rush towards the end. That does seem to be Matt's common theme. So far, though, we've hit some really good progress. 2 flirts puts us in a very good spot.
Yeah, it looks like we were just going to idle at the window, lose some suspicion. Not highlight yet. YerAnd highlights pretty standard
Oof.
for those statue inspects.
Oh
Oh,
my
what a
god.
nice bug. That was perfect.
Absolutely
YerAnd
Banana
seems to
perfect.
bread.
just not in the right, yeah, not in the right spot to catch that. The pillar also blocking there. YerAnd was rotating. Could YerAnd even shoot for center statues here?
I think he can.
Contact it.
Knowing your end.
It's definitely possible, but I don't know the timing here. And here it is. This is the real test. Contact and inspect. Do you think Matt potentially got a bug at all?
Let's find out.
Just a highlight.
So much of the party already whittled down. The only person who's highlighted, and you're at center statues, and it is going to be 2 cycles, and the statues pop down. Mission win countdown. Can he shoot for it? Someone else is at middle statues as well. That's probably going to dampen the chances of YerAnd pulling it out, and he won't take the shot. Matt goes up in this series 2-0 against YerAnd.
That play right there by Matt is probably one of the most iconic ballroom plays. Contact and inspect. So tough to not shoot for just because the bug is so good on this map. But it was good enough that YerAnd did not even think Matt had a chance at all or even took the slightest bug path. Really well done by Matt.
Yeah, watching it back on the sniper cam, as YerAnd had it, was completely invisible. The only way you actually spot this bug is to rotate round to watch the ambassador from a different angle. And as you can see, if YerAnd was over here, I mean, Matt wouldn't go for the bug, but you can see the bug far more clearly. And so that's the only way that bug was getting caught. Matt up 2-0 in the series, sweeping ballroom for himself. Really nice stuff here. Now YerAnd will step on into the spy role as the better half of the twin pairing, plane twin, to kick things off for us Yeesh on courtyard in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
I mean, if you need to win 6-2, sweeping ballroom's the way to start.
Wow, look at that. That's a dirty flirt. Instantly leaves conversation with the white test.
I love that about YerAnd here. Is sometimes it can be once you lose 2 games in a row, you've been swept. Maybe you just want to play timid. YerAnd showing no fear at all here.
Stepping
Just
into the
knows that
conversation
he
with
can get
double
away with
agent.
soft toes pretty freely. Yeah. Maybe
do
we
we-
don't BB here. It's really risky, but the conversations are full. Maybe YerAnd will go for it. If the SDA is out, then potentially
is.
it looks bad, but looks like almost everyone's in conversation, just 2 out
Banana
there.
bread.
Yeah,
Does
a
he get
couple
those
of
potential
lowlights.
lowlights?
3 lowlights taken. Pearl had just been to statues and steps into the conversation just in time as to Matt from ML not to take the lowlight there. So YerAnd gets the contact done. We got our flirt at 34%. Wheels, our seduction target in this conversation, becomes available for action, but he steps away immediately, which is fairly unlucky for YerAnd.
Still in a decent position though. We have a minute 30 left, and we need 2 flirts plus a hardtail or a fingerprint. And maybe we get this briefcase and a flirt here right now.
That would be cheeky, but I would expect YerAnd to be the kind of person to do it. Oh, does it, but unfortunately a red test, so won't be rewarded for the attempt. A little bit of a rush. We do get the fingerprint, but you can kind of see the plays coming through from YerAnd. Very happy to take these slightly more riskier flirts if it means getting away with things. Green time ad.
Oh,
Aborted.
it beeps though.
Yeah.
Yes, the beep is very visible. Does a little bit of a reaction there from YerAnd, but I mean from Matt, but no highlight coming out. Looks like we probably just barely got away with that.
Unfortunately, though, we don't add time. We aborted the action test too early. We do go for the bug though. Oh my gosh, Matt is zooming in on statues. YerAnd, free bug.
Yeah, Matt afraid of the Taft bug. The statue was like halfway into the wall. He was trying to make sure it was not a green swap. And now Taft goes for the fingerprint. It's possible that we shoot Taft here. I hope not.
Oh, that weird path. I mean, maybe you do. It's really good timing on the shot, but unfortunately it was a wrong shot. That's going to be YerAnd picking up his first win and on Spy on Courtyard. Let's watch that bug back again, because for YerAnd here, what can he see that we can't? Okay, wow. Okay, he sees a laser up in the sky looking at a statue and thinks there's no way he's camping this bug. Has to be my only opportunity. YerAnd able to spot that out. If you just look at the top of the screen, you see that green laser up there. And that's all YerAnd saw. Felt confident enough that that was enough for him to get away with it. And when you're looking at Taft here, well, this is what Matt was staring down. Taft with a statue in the wall. Freest bug of all time for Matt here. And then a statue to pick up some inspects. And I believe a fingerprint to finish off the game. Really nice stuff.
Unfortunately for Matt, the
oh no, he
rotations
swapped it. He white swapped it. I didn't even realize.
Yeah, I was just about to say Matt's rotations, unfortunately, just a little too tunneled in on some of these highlights. Did not notice, and maybe if he was not going to shoot Taft here, maybe he catches the swap. A little really aggressive from your end there, but maybe thinking that he would not be able to rush flirt against Matt in time one.
I mean, that was the kind of calculated aggression. When you notice the sniper laser is tunneled in on a character. And actually, I remember YerAnd being a player who taught me a lot about emphasizing with the sniper laser as spy to either force a miss shot or just creep missions in. He punished me very early on when I was playing SpyParty-ish. Because I was tunneled in on a character and he saw me following this character around to statues and staring down the statues. So after the character left, he went over and white swapped it and made me believe my own story that a green swap had occurred and the person I was tunneled on was the spy. And so if there's one person in SpyParty that I would respect to be able to emphasize with the sniper laser and really figure out who's being tunneled on or where their attention is being divided, YerAnd's the kind of spy that I expect that from. Regardless, though, Matt now has to hold his lead here off with a spy win on Courtyard. Very difficult task ahead of him. Playing Alice here, we'll have to see if he can do it. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Unfortunately, we gave up our early lead. Now we're going to have to play near perfectly. If we can take this spy win, that would be huge. Because then we will only need to snipe perfectly on the last 2 maps. But gonna be tough here for Matt now. Back against the wall. Starts with pretty slowly here. We are out in 4 flirt territory if we don't green test.
One of the things that becomes very difficult when playing against YerAnd is his ability to whittle down the party through black magic voodoo lowlights, for pathing, for intention, for various different behavioralistic things. Somewhat better to potentially rush YerAnd before he gets all those lowlights. If you want to have a chance of beating him, the longer the game goes, the more likely he is to catch the spy. Green Purloin himself, though, that could be the way you do it. Matt gets away from the area. Does YerAnd have the slightest clue of what happened here?
Seems like he noticed, but decides not to take too many decisions. Just takes a couple lowlights here. Looks like he maybe is trying to figure out where people were when the Purloin went off.
No highlights.
Banana bread.
Here comes a contact, though. Alice, white contact, knocks out a couple more people. The party's pretty much singled down at this point. But all Matt needs to do is go to statues, inspect, and he potentially wins it. Oh, bug! I was expecting a bug to come through.
Resist the temptation there. That was very tempting. It would have been very tempting to go statueless on Courtyard, especially. But understandably, Matt not going for it, thinking that, hey, if I just inspect, I win. I don't need to risk anything here.
The more time spent, potentially the less chances Matt has of getting this game back. But thankfully for us, our seduction target here, Orange Dress, the one to have taken the guest list, picks up a fingerprint. I'm not entirely sure what Matt's doing here. Steps into a conversation inside general and then insta-talks. That could look like a flirt, especially if YerAnd wasn't confident on the potential flirt pairings. Man, our seduction target's doing us a solid. Steps over to statues for inspects. So does Matt, though. Who is the spy, YerAnd? You have a pretty much a 50-50 right here at statues. Are you confident enough to take a shot? Oh my god, he is. I don't understand YerAnd. I don't know how he does it. But he finds the correct shot and ties up the series 2-all.
Yeah, unfortunately there, Matt incriminating himself there, goes really close to general, and then immediately talks in order not to have a no talk situation, which is correct. If the no talk happens there, then YerAnd does confirm Matt as a spy, but this obviously looks like a flirt, and then the timing on the inspects, YerAnd thinking that Matt would finish.
The surprising thing for me, though, is that he was confident enough that Orange Dress wasn't the spy. Did he get a good look at the fade? Yeah, I suppose he did. If he saw the fade just then he may have had a good enough look at the fade, and may have had Matt as top suspect due to being in the reject chain. But the seduction target was also at statues, and had a fingerprint, and had a contact, and would have been done with seduce. YerAnd somehow manages to pull out the correct shot when the seduction target was just doing so much to spin the correct narrative that Matt wanted there. Holy moly, YerAnd, a god in the sniper role, now spying here on Library, going to be playing Duke for us as well. Let's see what he has up his sleeve in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
YerAnd, a big proponent of microfilm. I would not be surprised to see him go for it.
In the conversation. Right at the start.
The pillar.
But the pillar's not even blocking it. It's not blocking it. Sniper cam, it was completely visible. It's just so brazenly obvious that I don't think Matt was looking for it.
Yeah, maybe. I think YerAnd did want to position himself behind the pillar. Probably did not want to do that in broad daylight, but gets away with it. Gets away with murder. And now going to briefcase. We've made a lot of mission progress in this first minute.
Holy moly. YerAnd is not afraid to spy. That is for sure. Fingerprint on the briefcase, picks it up. Stops fairly nicely in front of the ambassador here. Wee-oo, there's 3 at bookshelves. Seems like Matt subscribes to 3 at bookshelves philosophy, because there's some highlights for all 3 of them there.
Looks like we're just going to return here. Obviously not going to try to microfilm with the green microphone in your pocket. Now options are wide open. Not too much seduce done or contact yet. The DA unfortunately is out of conversation. Looks like he might get in. Ooh, unfortunately, ST leaves, but the DA is with us. We'll make some more progress with 2 minutes left.
I wouldn't be surprised if Irish, our seduction target, gets shot when she steps into middle statues, and if she's in a conversation with an SDA. She was part of the 3 at bookshelves Wii meme that Matt highlighted it for, and then just spent the last 20 seconds
in the red
arm inside of the ambassador. Here comes the contact. She was out of conversation. Where is she now? Over on the right with a suspected double agent. Matt didn't get a good enough look. Highlight does come through. Second bookshelf. Matt's camping it, but here comes the purloin. Does Matt know who did it?
Potentially not. Also, he may have been trying to punch the split.
Oh, there it is.
Ooh, he caught the edge of the ad. Just caught the edge. That white test, unfortunately, just doesn't work out. Just barely caught the end of it. Nice job by Matt. Not sure. I think the highlight was probably for a split. I know Matt does put a lot of emphasis on that, but I'm not entirely sure if it was for that or for the microphone. Maybe you can confirm with us in chat.
It's a difficult one because the split happened so late. I mean, like the contact gets uttered at
banana bread
10. We purloin after that, and we don't leave the conversation until 6 seconds later. It's not really a banana split at that point. But I guess Matt had put so much emphasis on the other side of the room that potentially you just expect it to be a split regardless. Either way though, the purloin comes off. You probably expect that Duke could be involved in that. And then the swing back here for to catch the end of the microphone transfer. Really solid stuff from Matt. Just knows his animation's too good. And that is going to be Matt keeping things alive 3-2 on Library. However, we talked about it. Matt needs to win this series 6-2 if he wants to have a chance of coming out of groups here. A 5-3 win is not enough for Matt at this point. And so every game from now on has to be a win if Matt wants to get out of groups. Really tough task ahead of Matt here. Let's see if he can pull it off though. Spying as Bling Twin as we jump onto his role in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Looks like we're just going to be bouncing around here, going for that early flirt, get that seduce done. I think Softails are much better on library, so I think this map also suits Matt's playstyle. Looking like a solid start. Potentially we leave. Oh, now the briefcase is available for us. We don't take it. Just gonna leave to reset this flirt cooldown. But now options are open with Ambassador at the blue bookshelf.
Yeah, that's more fingerprints available, and we do get a second flirt done with a green test, putting us up to 85%. Really solid position to be in if you're Matt.
Unfortunately for us, the Ambassador did take the book with him, so we're not going to be able to get that fingerprint immediately until later on. So in the meantime, just going to pick up some inspects, get more Softail progress. Maybe we go contactless, but perhaps we just finish with all Softails and one hardtail. It can be very strong and deadly on a map like Library.
So far, YerAnd has 4 suspects in the first minute of this game. At least that's what we see through the highlights that he has given. One of them at center statues. I believe that would be the second statue inspect there for the wheels. What is Matt planning on doing? Eyeing up a seduction target and the Ambassador at the same time. Attempts a wrong arm. Crashes the Amber pretty hard. What does YerAnd think of that?
Ooh, I don't know, actually. It seemed like his arm actually was pretty hidden since it was a wrong arm. I did like it, though, since he was trying to time it. Unfortunately, the Ampa just sort of smashes him into the wall there. If he goes to statues, maybe we get shot, but it feels like... No, it seems like the laser didn't have too much reaction when Matt did that, so... Still
Ooh.
feeling good about Matt's chances.
YerAnd's just switched his predictions of who the real double agent may be. That could be really bad for Matt if he was to contact right now. It would only solidify that someone in that conversation was Matt. That's a green action test, though, in an instant split. Maybe it's good enough to get some lowered suspicion from YerAnd here. I don't think he saw it as it happened, though. He may not get rewarded for this. Picks up the same statue, though, that he was at before. There's a fingerprint on it.
Yeah. That actually might be rewarded by YerAnd. I know he does watch for this sort of thing. Does he remember which statue Matt was at? No, it does look like he's going to camp the swap. Definitely looks like he's suspicious of Matt at this point.
Yeah, and then he sees that no swap came through, so that may be enough. Is there still a fingerprint in blue bookshelf? I believe there may be. Matt believes there is. He's stepping over towards it, picks up the book, and what is the fingerprint? It is straight up clean. All we need now is one more mission and we win this spy game.
Do we get shot for this, though? You can tell that YerAnd is 100% worried about Matt being done with missions here. If Matt goes to another set of statues, will he die?
I think he will. And so the only possibility, it seems to me, is Purloin. Very difficult position to be in.
The request comes out. It looks like the fate of Matt's hands will be sealed in this action test. Can he hit a green? That would be huge.
Oh, he hit a green.
He does hit it.
And he rejects by walking away. That might just be enough. Toby offering a drink to a low light. YerAnd will 100% shoot Matt if he sees the fade, but the low light also rejects. 10 seconds left on the clock now, and this is going to trigger an overtime, especially if it gets taken just now. Here it comes. 3, 2, 1. There's the drink taken, the guest list. It's tapped. He's not low lit. Who is he going to shoot? He's looking for Matt. He finds Matt. He finds the shot. YerAnd once more makes another clutch sniper shot and ties the series up 3-3.
Really nice play. That actually locks up the win for YerAnd. Looks like at the end there, just searching for Matt, not being able to find him, and then finally sees him behind the pillar and just takes a shot. Really clean play. Would have been tough. Maybe you challenge YerAnd there at the end and go for the inspect, but YerAnd definitely had suspicion. Would have been tough to get away with there.
That is an incredible shot. That's 2 incredible shots coming out from YerAnd. Back to back. This is why he is so feared. and really going to be interesting to see him play up in the gold division for SCL next year when that does kick off. This guy scares me more than anyone outside of Diamond, pretty much. And it's shots like that just show how confident he is as a sniper. It's insane. So with that sniper win, unfortunately for Matt, his chances of getting out of Group G, the God group of Quicklime, Pofkey, YerAnd, and Matt, have shattered to pieces. But you're playing against one of SpyParty's best here, and so you can still play for the dignity and the pride that is a win, or even just tying YerAnd would be quite the accomplishment. So as we swap over to pub here, let's remind you guys at home of the different possibilities that can now come out of this. Is there different possibilities now, or is it just completely locked up?
It's actually over. Yeah, YerAnd just with that sniper win, clutching it out at the end, secures the number 1 seed. Pofkey will go in as the number 2. Unfortunately, his run ends here.
Yeah, YerAnd was able to lose 5-3 and still go through as, oh no, if he loses 5-3, it's not over. So if Matt was to win the next 2 games, then YerAnd will go through as second and Pofkey as top. So I suppose if you're Pofkey right now, you're cheering on Matt for two back-to-back wins to take this series over YerAnd. Otherwise, a tie puts YerAnd through as first, and a win, of course, puts YerAnd through as first. So let's see how it does play out. YerAnd spying as Alice on pub in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Ooh, a little bit of a wonky path at the start there, getting caught on the pub. That corner path, trying to hug that is very difficult to replicate as the spy. And actually, YerAnd does a proper reject. Maybe he knows how to catch it. I know I've been doing some testing with this. It is possible to determine a delegate reject from an actual reject. So maybe YerAnd knows that Matt knows.
Banana bread.
Looks like a bug opportunity here. Yep.
Oh yeah,
BB
went
into
for it.
bug.
Wow, BB into bug into flirt. I think that was just visible by Matt. He's currently just laser still at this point. Gonna check out some highlights for real contact, but also potentially a highlight that also screams, "I saw you bug."
Yeah, it looks like he did not pick up Leopard there, so potentially worried that one of those characters down there were able to bug while he was getting low lights. Nice play by YerAnd, though. Does go for the fingerprint. Looks like he's going for the statueless game.
This is the finger prono. This is where we get to use it. Yeesh. Briefcase. Oh wow, a second reject. Oh wow, he's 100% going for low lights here. The reject. He's saying to Matt, look at me. I'm not fingerprinting. If he does it 2 times in a row, that's kind of cheeky. Look at me. I definitely didn't want the guest list. Okay, anyway, he does it this time. So he gets the drink. He selects the delegate option and he fingerprints it at the same time. Very unlikely that we do actually delegate because that would be a hard tell that Matt could track back. Right now, I think we're finishing with flirt.
Absolutely. With 1:45 left on the clock, I don't see any way that YerAnd could lose this, unless the ST is absolutely horrendous towards us. But
it just depends on
how
confident Matt was that a bug didn't occur. I believe it was visible, so maybe Matt's sitting on it.
Certainly possible here. Not entirely sure though how Matt reacts to that BB there. If we are in trouble here with flirt, we can always delegate at the end of the timer just to send boots to the bar to reduce the cooldown. So we are in no danger here of losing to a poor ST.
Yeah, that's a really good point. We can wait to the very end of the delegation timer and send her over, but as it turns out, they both finish at the same time. One more flirt to win the game here for YerAnd. Here it comes. 10 seconds, and Matt has to make the shot if he wants to take a sniper win here. 4 seconds ticking down. 3, 2, 1. YerAnd, another clean spy game, will take the victory as spy. And it all comes back to that contact double agent into bug play that we saw earlier. Let's watch that back again. Here it comes, the contact and instantly into Buck, and looks like Matt was just distracted enough to allow that one to go through.
Banana bread.
Yeah, just grabbing low lights. His laser, unfortunately, not looking in the right spot. Good play by YerAnd, though, capitalizing off of the BB there. And then not going for statues as well. I do like this play, especially because maybe he thinks that the bug is suspicious, but if you don't ever go to statues, tough for the sniper to shoot you.
Yeah, absolutely. Very strong stuff from YerAnd. 4-3 now. And Matt now spying to try and lock in a tie against this formidable opponent. Going to be playing as a small man to finish off tonight's festivities. I hope we get shenanigans. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Smallman, anything can happen. Your memes can be dreams. What is Matt gonna do? Nothing crazy. It looks like, oh, we get highlight. I know YerAnd likes. YerAnd likes to do this.
YerAnd highlights small men like every game. It's so frustrating.
I know, it's very sad, especially when you randomize and then you just get Smallman and you're just like, well, I'm good to start off as a highlight.
I mean,
it can be pretty demoralizing too, especially when it's like, well, I really didn't have too much chance this game of even winning.
There's the delegate at the bar. The good thing about a small man highlight for the sake of small man is that it is just a small man highlight for the sake of small man. It doesn't mean anything other than I want to be able to see small man a little bit more clearly.
Very true. Looks like we do delegate, and YerAnd probably does not know the difference, it seems like, because otherwise he would have just shot Smallman there for the delegate reject.
Oh my god.
Thankfully don't have to be scared of that yet.
Here we go, flirt. We're in range of a bug as well. Alright,
resist the temptation. That was good, especially since it would have been clearly on camera and no BB to really distract.
There's the fingerprint. It's looking pretty hard that this will go through the guest list purloin. It may just expire before Duke gets offered a drink here. We're watching YerAnd watch it. Duke going to be offered a drink last. A very busy bar. Yep, and there it is. Expire does come through, so the guest list will not be taken.
However, even though the delegate did not happen,
Banana bread.
sometimes the sniper can assign suspicion even though there is no delegate. You might have just assumed that the spy delegated and the timer ran out. So potentially Matt could be in a tough spot here, but he does have a lot of mission progress. So definitely still on the table here for him.
Heading over to bar here. Looking like we're going to pick up another drink. Potentially get another delegate option for ourselves. And no, we don't. We just take the drink. Innocent drink take. There's no really reward for an innocent drink take on pub, because there's no difference between taking a drink and taking a drink and choosing the delegate option. So you're almost better to always take the delegate option, just because then you have that available to you.
Absolutely. There is the slight difference between... Ooh, that bug, unfortunately, on camera. Matt, did YerAnd not see that? That was a very obvious bug. Unfortunately, collided. Looks like YerAnd is not noticing.
I don't think he saw it.
That's actually crazy. That bug was so far in the open. I thought for sure Matt was going to die there.
I don't know how Matt's done it, but Matt's just pulled off a spy win against YerAnd after 2 back-to-back beautiful spy games from Matt, where he has done so much to try and beat YerAnd. Really thrown YerAnd through a meat grinder to try and get a spy win of him. All it took was the world's most obvious bug in the doorway of pub to beat YerAnd. Who would have thought? There you go, guys. If you're worried about playing YerAnd in the future, we now know his weakness. It's small man bugs in the doorway.
While
sniper laser, whilst highlight as small man. It's simple. That's all you got to do. Watch this. See that arm? I mean, YerAnd had to have, you think, but apparently not. I don't know. I'm mocking a little bit, but it's just incredible to see YerAnd pull back some impossible sniper games and then miss that bug.
Absolutely. I mean, it's funny to think that Matt came so close a lot of those games. One of them mostly due to just the overtime beeps going too far on that library game. If it was a shorter overtime, maybe your end doesn't find Matt. But that's the spy win we take. Honestly, Matt played really well this set, though. I give him full props.
Oh,
He is
no.
in the God group, so
Yeah,
definitely a deserving player. Just had a tough matchup against two probably of the favorite seeds to make it to the top four.
absolutely. Wow. So, with that being said, that is Group G now completed. YerAnd takes the tie and exits Group G in first position, and that will be him and Povki battling it out in the single limb bracket. So just a recap of tonight's games. I should have made a screen for this. Clearly, I'm a good host and I prepare well. Turnip Boy takes first in his group over Alex Air. Frosty takes first place in his group and will be joined by Banding Pig in second place for Group E. With an upset victory, Belial will exit Group F in first place, with Pox coming out as second. And that tie and a fantastic set of games from YerAnd and ml726 does mean that Group G has been determined, with YerAnd taking first seed and Pofki taking a second seed in Group G. And that does complete tonight's matches. We had some great matches tonight, Yeesh. Some fantastic spy play all around and sniper play as well. And I really enjoyed casting with you tonight.
Absolutely. Same to you. It was a really fun time. Some really good matches, very competitive, especially since these were all on the line. People playing with their hearts out. So all of these matches really close. Sad that we can't have everybody move on, but excited to progress to the single limb bracket. It only gets more intense from here.
Yeah, absolutely it does. And for those who are interested in what's on offer tomorrow, here are the sets that we are casting. Warning Track and Taboshi will join myself for a whole bunch of exciting matchups. We're going to kick things off with Group D live. David W versus JY. That match will be happening live, the first live Summer Cup match that we will broadcast. Group A, Lazy Bear versus Yish, yourself. Both of you battling it out for first place in Group A. And then BRS Kayla will take on Artoriax to determine who will get second seed out of Group B. Nemphless is already locked in first seed for Group B. And so that's the battle for second. Same with David W and JY as well. They're also battling for second seed in Group D. And then we'll finish things off with Group G with Royal Flush versus Ryu. Catnip has secured first seed for Group G. Group H. That's a typo. Catnip has already secured first place for Group H. So this matchup between Royal Flush and Ryu will decide the second seed coming out of that group. Make sure you guys tune in. Same time tomorrow, 11 p.m. UK, 3 p.m. Pacific. And I'm sure you can work it out from those two time zones for where you live. And make sure you tune in on time, because the first match will not be waiting for anyone. It is going to be David W versus JY live, casted by Warning Track and Taboshi. So hope you guys do tune us for that. Without much more to say, thank you guys for tuning in today. Thanks to Yeesh for joining me for tonight's broadcast, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your evening. We'll catch you all tomorrow for the next set of Summer Cup matches, and us rounding out the third and final day of group stages. Hopefully by the end of tomorrow we'll know who will be in the knockout stages and who will be playing who as well. It's going to be exciting. Hope to see you then tomorrow at 11 p.m. UK, 3 p.m. Pacific.